Beautiful life is so easy to obtain. What I've noticed and realized with a lot of just individuals I've encountered on my conquest is that anything that goes against um their habitual way of doing things, it threatens them. And even if their way of doing things don't work, and that little piece right there is how you have a beautiful life. When you embrace things that go against your own habitual way of doing things or your own traditional way of doing things, then your life becomes more beautiful because then you allow other perspectives of beauty to enter inside your life. You allow other ideas and other opportunities to come into your life. But when you only living based out of a perspective of hurt, and then you're trying to find hurt being a form of beauty or a form of a guide to your life, you're always going to lead down a hurtful path or regretful path, or you're going to end up being just envious or all these emotions because you see someone else basically living what you've wanted to do. And it all could be so simple. Your life could be so simple as to you just getting up and embracing new information, embracing new ideas, embracing things that go against your own way of doing things. So the I'm not even gonna say the best way. This might be the only way for you to actually have a real, true, beautiful life. Is to go against the grain. Go against your own way of doing things. Go against your own grain. Go against your own feelings. Go against your own mood. Go against your your own way of life. And if you don't know how to do that, the how is basically doing the opposite of what you're used to doing. So if you feel scared, nervous, afraid, intimidated, what's the opposite of that? Being brave, being courageous, being fearless, being uh truthful or having a strong conviction within yourself, self-belief, high self-esteem. It's the opposite of everything you've been doing. If you do the opposite of everything you've been doing, then you'll get the opposite of everything you've been going through. It's literally that simple. It's that simple for you to live a beautiful and wonderful life, to live a life that you didn't even know could exist for you. Because just because you feel like you deserve something, how means you actually gonna have to, like, you're gonna get it. You have to actually go out there and earn it. Feeling like you deserve something is just the key point. It's just like knowing that the possibility is open for you to have something other than what you've been getting. That's it. But as far as knowing what you deserve, that's going out there and executing and say, I deserve this. I'm gonna go towards that. I'm gonna work towards this. But feeling like, oh, I deserve something, thinking it's just gonna be handed to you. That's not the structure of the cosmos. That's not how this game of life works. Just because you feel like you deserve something, just because you feel like things are unfair and things need to be this way, that doesn't mean that it's actually going to be fair and be the way that you want it to be. So you could have a lot of power and control in life, but how could you have that when you just feeling it? Just because you feel it, that don't mean it's actually the reality. So the way for you to exercise power and control is to actually not feel like you have to do it. That's true power and control. When you can actually be in your true sense of just knowing. Like just knowing. Like you don't even have to even try to prove anything to yourself. You just know that, like, I'm amazing. And you just be amazing and not feel like I gotta show I'm in control. I gotta show that I'm not weak. And it's like you doing these things because of who? Because of what? You're trying to prove that you're strong to weaklings. You're trying to prove that you're beautiful to the ugly. You're trying to prove that you're high to the lows. And then you're expecting to find happiness at the end of all that. Like, yeah, I show them, but then at the end of the day, you're still depressed, you're still lonely, you're still feeling like you ain't worth nothing, but you showed them. So the way to really go about this is to match what you want. If you want the highs, start acting high. Start acting, start acting above. If you want companionship, if you want wealth, all those things, because that's all wealth. Start being in that way. Like, don't do the opposite of what you want. Don't contradict your own desires. Don't go against it. If you want a certain thing and you feel like this thing is basically rescuing you, and this is gonna help take your life to a whole nother phase, a whole nother journey, then you do that thing. Don't do the opposite. If you want to be truly happy, don't always look for a way to be mad. If you want true companionship, don't always look for a way to cut somebody off or be distant from them. Especially if that's what you truly want, and you know this circumstance, this special being that's in your life is truly worth it. Don't do it just because that's what you used to do and because you feel triggered, because you feel threatened. If you want more money in your life, don't do the opposite. Don't look for ways of how you could spend money. Look for ways of how you can make money. If you want a new house, a new anything, look for ways of how you could obtain it instead of looking for ways of how you can't have it. It's literally that simple. Basic mathematical principle. Basic. Don't look for things that you don't want. It's that simple. You can enhance your perception just by looking for things that you truly want. It doesn't, seeing and looking is two different things. You can see anything, but what you look for is different. Look for things you truly want. And then when you look for them, you'll start to see them. They'll become your actual world. And then you'll see all the beautiful opportunities around you. And then you'll realize, wow, what a beautiful life. So stop going against your own desires and go against your habits. Go against what you've been taught. Because if you truly want to go out there and make something for yourself in this world before it's too late, start now. If you want to have more energy, stop always looking for ways to sleep. Look for ways to be productive. Look for ways of being strong. If you're tired of being weak, look for ways to be strong. It's easy. It's easy to be strong. Stop being weak. That's simple. And weakness, it varies. Because you could be weak by every time you feel like it's something you could have in life. And instead of pursuing it or giving your all to it, you wind up quitting because you feel like it ain't going to happen. That's weak. So the strong thing to do is to stick through it no matter what happens. Is to keep your conviction and your idea like, all right, yeah, this thing is still going to happen. Regardless of how I feel, no matter what the feeling is, it's still going to happen. So that's how you be strong. You just stop quitting early. Especially when you got something that's worth it. What you want in your heart is worth it. Your ideas, your desires are worth it. So do that thing. Follow it. Stop quitting. because it got too hard. Do the difficult things. That's how you gain strength. Taking this safe, easy route is how you obtain supreme weakness. And then you'll die weak. And when I mean die, I don't mean a whole funeral service. I'm talking about you'll die inside yourself. You'll just be waiting to get buried. And then it'll be a waste. Because then whatever kin you have that's related to you, then they'll have to exploit those weaknesses. And then they'll be weak. And then they'll have children that'll be weak. And then this is how things pass on. This is how the world comes to be, especially in with the general population, because nobody wanted to do the difficult things. Nobody wanted to do what was hard. Everybody wanted it to be easy. Everybody just wanted to feel good. Living your life just to feel good is a weak thing. Living your life just to have pleasure is so weak, because pleasure is perceptive. You've been fed pleasure, but you haven't went out there and discovered what truly makes you happy. You just been fed happiness through TV, through product, through movies, all these, through even others in your life. You've been fed it. But have you actually went out there and discovered it? Have you actually questioned yourself and say, you know what? Let me go out there and discover this thing. Even down to your beliefs. Whatever you believe in, whether you believe in Buddha or God, Jesus, any of these stuff, any of these figures. You've been fed these beliefs. You've been fed this idea. But have you actually went out there and discovered it on your own? Have you actually went out there and discovered enlightenment on your own? Have you actually went out there and discovered Jesus on your own? Have you went out there and discovered God on your own? Have you went out there and discovered Buddha? Have you went out there and discovered spiritualism on your own? Have you went out there and discovered the universe on your own? You haven't. You've been fed it. You had books about it. You went on different searches and looked it up. This is what you've been taught since a kid. But have you actually went out there and discovered it on your own? Have you went out there and discovered your dream on your own? Or you just been fed dreams? Oh, this is what happiness is. This is what success is. But have you actually went out there and tried to be successful on your own? This really is a beautiful life when you discover it on your own. When you go out there and do what's hard. When you stop backing down. When you stop cowering. When you stop just looking for a reason to quit. Stop looking for a reason to feel like you aren't good enough. What a beautiful life this is. What a beautiful life this really is. When you stop being weak. This life isn't for the weak. This is for the strong-hearted. This is for those who really want to be here. Because this universe, this dimension is illusionary. It's based off of mental projection and mental imagery. It's all psychological. So being in that type of state, knowing that this is all psychological, that says a lot. You're here to actually do something, create something, because this isn't the end. It's another version to this. It's another version, another dimension that's after this one, that's here. And once you make it through this one, you go into that one. So what you do echoes in eternity. That will always follow you. So if you didn't make it in this one, each life you live, you're going to be suffering. You're going to keep going through things. So the best thing you could do to create true eternal wealth is to do your best right now. Stop being scared to lose. Stop being afraid to fail. Stop being afraid to be without. Stop being afraid to be alone. Stop being afraid to be depressed. Stop afraid of having anxiety. Stop being afraid of all these things. Stop looking for a way to in a sense, avoid these things or medicate these things. Embrace all of it. Do what's hard. Do what's necessary. I can, I must, I will.